Welcome everyone, this is Utah League of Legends Battles Season 3, Week Number 1, and this matchup will be Finalys Funkel versus DudeBroMan. Kinda hard to say, isn't it? And I am MrTree, casting with my co-caster.
Hey guys, I'm Osh, top laner for U2Q, sitting in here to cast a couple games. Looks like this should be a very interesting game ahead of us.
Alright, and it looks like for the team matchups we have a DudeBroMan with Quirky, Olaf, Poppy, Soraka, and Morgana. And for Team Finalys Funkel, we have Nunu, Draven, Akali, Darius, and Nocturne. Kind of interesting right now because we actually have a Poppy jungler this game, which is almost unheard of in any game whatsoever.
I'm super excited to see how this Poppy jungle turns out. It's one of my passions is playing Poppy, so I love to pull her out whenever I can, whether it's top lane or jungle. So really excited, hoping she gets fed. Not trying to root for one team or the other, but a fed Poppy is just so much fun to watch.
And look, you know, a lot of people don't see Poppy played a lot, so kind of tell me about how the points of Poppy. What are her strong points in the game, as far as the jungler standpoint goes?
From a jungler standpoint, she actually does have really strong ganks, especially post 6, because she can tower dive anything. As a champion, she excels as an anti-carry. She can dive anybody in a team fight, just destroy them, as long as she's not too far behind. So that's what she built, is to focus somebody squishy, or even somebody remotely tanky if she gets fed enough, and she can just take down that target. She's really good at initiating and splitting people up, because they're just trying to peel for their carry, and they can't do anything because she's ulted and doesn't take any damage. So really interesting pick.
Alright, and it should work out really well, seeing that Darius was the, or Draven, sorry, Draven was the AD carry picked during this game, where he doesn't really have a good escape to get away from Poppy. She might be able to really make that anti-carry capability she has show up really well. It looks like both teams are just going to take their own buffs, going to kind of play it safe. Nocturne might come around for a level 2 gank here shortly. It looks like he is just going to do that, run right through Tribush. Let's actually keep our eyes on him for just a brief moment. Olaf is overextended, going right for Darius. I feel like Nocturne should just go straight for it before Darius does back off.
Olaf's got to be really careful here.
Nocturne does show up, and will he be able to actually land his spear on him? Olaf is getting feared, however, Olaf does have too much HP right now and managed to slow down Nocturne. Darius wasn't quite in range, able to help out.
Still a successful gank though. They did get Olaf to burn the ghost, which is going to help Darius out a lot in lane.
Oh, Quirky almost getting taken down by Draven in bottom lane. Quirky had to burn that flash, and Soraka had to burn her. Oh, let's see here. Soraka doesn't have heal, does she? No, she doesn't. What was that? Quirky's got heal. Wow, Quirky had to burn heal and flash in that one. Didn't realize he did pick up that heal, so they're playing a really safe bot lane.
Wow.
Looks like Quirky might go down to the Ignite, and Ignite does pick up first blood for Draven. Draven being really aggressive and turning out really well for him though. As far as how in top lane's looking, Darius is a little low and will not be able to see us as well. Just have to play it really passively against Olaf. Olaf's just going to have too much sustain against him. Alright, so let's look at the top lane right now. So we got Olaf versus Darius. How do you feel about this matchup?
Olaf wins early, period. Darius actually takes a little bit of time to get to the point where he can do a lot of damage, and Olaf's early damage is just insane. I mean, look at this, just trunking with true damage. He has the choice whether to max true damage or axis for even more damage one way or the other, or more chasing potential. So Darius really needs to play it super careful early, just get what CS he can, and get to that point where he can start dunking people and become the dunk master Fagatron 5000.
Alright, so we got some BM against the Darius players. Alright, and it looks like Nunu might be coming around for gank on Morgana, however they will know this is coming. Nunu just going for that ward though. The ward coverage bot lane is actually pretty good for DBM, or actually no, sorry, it was actually Finalys Funkel.
I'm really curious as to why Nocturne hasn't actually pushed into the jungle at this point, where Poppy's a really, really vulnerable early jungler actually. You know, he could have come and done some serious damage. Granted, it's really scary to go against Poppy in the jungle because she can pound you into walls, but Poppy jungle specifically has to go really low as far as health goes to get an early jungle clear.
Alright, and blue buff still hasn't been picked up from Nocturne yet. Just barely getting around to that. Spending a lot of time actually just farming around. Just trying to go for those ganks. Not making anything happen. Draven once again pushing Corki out of lane. Happened to burn the exhaust on Draven to slow him down. Corki's in a really bad position, really. He needs to get that level 6 so he can actually start poking back, though. Once he does get level 6, he'll have that infinite mana combination from Soraka and be able to constantly drill his ult over and over again.
I definitely think that exhaust was a little bit, well, I definitely think it was unnecessary. It was a little bit preemptive, but better to be safe than sorry.
Alright, it looks like we have Poppy coming around for a gank. Let's see if she managed to pin someone against the wall. They will know she's there and both will back off away from her. Looks like she still does want to go for some damage, instantly getting knocked back by the Draven. That's actually really smart now I think about it. Draven's got a pretty good de-initiate to her dive. If he can time it right, that is.
Yes, he does have to time it exceptionally well.
Draven, or sorry, Darius getting really low. Olaf's going to be able to pick up a kill here soon if he's not careful. Let's actually, ooh, he's giving more chunked down. Definitely. He will have to just back off. Nocturne's coming around for a possible gank. However, Darius isn't going to be able to help out with this, or he's just going to instantly get nuked. Olaf going for the dive, burning his ghost. Nocturne showing up, and Olaf will just back out of there, popping his exhaust as well. Both summoners are down. Nocturne should be able to stick around, take the farm, while Darius does go back here shortly. Both teams are actually playing really good right now. They're playing really safe. They're not getting caught out of position or anything. And the warding from Finalys Funkel is actually really good right now as far as in the bottom lane goes. I mean, there's no wards top lane, but he's been pushing his turret the whole game. He really doesn't need the ward coverage. Olaf, however, should get that ward coverage going. I mean, yeah, he's gotten away, you know, both times, but not having that ward coverage can be really unpredictable as far as, like, say, Akali is now moving up top. This gank could possibly get him if she goes all the way through, and he will have no idea she's coming. Still being overextended. Let's see actually if she can make something happen. Being level 7.
He doesn't have mana for his ult either.
Oh, looks like Nocturne's taking a huge amount of damage from Olaf. Olaf trying to go for the kill. Nocturne will barely get away, and it looks like Akali should be able to pick up this kill. Just one more attack, and he will go down to Akali. Like I said,
discouraging for him.
So, like I said, with that ward coverage, he really doesn't need that ward coverage. So things like that don't happen. Like how easy Akali just walked up there. He had no idea she was there. He was completely unprepared. No summoners, no nothing, and just got taken out. All right, and we should be seeing some Poppy ganks here in the next couple levels. She's still level 4. She's actually a little bit behind. I guess that's that single target jungling issue that I've been hearing about from all of you.
It really is, and she also needs to get into the enemy jungle to make plays. On Poppy, a lot of times you're not actually going to get positions where you'll get a dash against a wall, so you need to set up behind them coming out of their jungle to get them pushed back into your team. Really, that's one of the most effective ways to jungle on Poppy early before, you know, you get to the point where you can just start tower diving people post 6. What do you think about this mid lane matchup? This is actually very interesting, seeing Akali versus a Morgana.
Oh, well, I think we're seeing how the matchup's actually turning out real quickly here. Akali managed to do a whole bunch of damage to Morgana at no disadvantage right there. I feel like Akali has definitely a better harass. I mean, if Morgana can land her snares, yeah, that's great. But Akali can constantly put the pressure on nonstop. And that's really just going to give her the complete lane control. Morgana's just going to have to try to farm that out and try to keep Akali in her turrets, just so she doesn't start roaming around, because that's really what Akali excels at, is going around and assassinating other players. But it looks like Poppy is coming around for a gank on Akali. Akali's going to have to jump away. The flash going down from Poppy. Akali is going to jump away. He lands an amazing snare, and an ult will pop off here in just a moment. She does not manage to flash away. However, it looks like that just might be enough distance to get her away, and Nocturne does show up for the counter gank. Kind of really an even trade. Akali really not taking as much damage as I was expecting her to take from all that.
Really, besides a small burst from Poppy's Q, she doesn't have enough damage early to really take down the target that has a good amount of health. And Kali's actually built up a good amount of health at this point already.
Yeah, Akali opting to go for all that spell vamp early on, and she just keeps complete control of her lane. Oh, and bot lane's getting attacked by Poppy. Poppy trying to run around the map. However, she is just going to be permasled by Nunu. And she's not able to get in range of anyone.
I think using that ult for the damage was probably a mistake on Poppy's part. If she had saved it, they could probably have gone for a tower dive at that point, and she could have just tanked the tower.
And Darius in a bad position once again. Olaf is going to go for another tower dive here shortly, seeing that he has both summoners up. I'm sure he's just going to probably wait on his... He doesn't have to wait on his ult, seeing that Darius doesn't even have any kind of actual CC to really affect him. However, Kali and Nocturne are starting to converge up there. He is warded this time. We'll know it's coming. However, he might be way overextended to be able to back away from this. Oh, he might be able to pick up the kill on Darius before he goes down. Olaf's going to have to try to ghost out of there now. Well, Olaf managed to be able to get away. Olaf getting caught by the Nocturne, and the fear will go off on him. Does not have his ult to be able to save him now. Just a little bit more. Morgana's going to be able to land a snare on Akali. Oh, and Nocturne does pick it up with an ult. And looks like Morgana's in a lot of trouble right now as well. Does not look like she's going to be able to make it with the slows from Akali. And Akali managed to jump on her, and Nocturne picks up the kill. Poppy trying to slow him down. However, Poppy will go down as well. 3 kills. Oh.
Wow. This Akali is going to start becoming a really big problem very quickly.
So, Finalys Funkel in a great position right now. Having all those kills on Akali and Nocturne. I mean, they're both really good assassins. And they're just going to start picking off all those low health champions like Corki, Soraka, and Morgana for now. Morgana will get tankier later on and have the higher HP pull. Just right now, she's just really vulnerable.
Definitely, especially once she finishes that Abyssal Scepter that she's trying to rush right now. That will help a lot. And then she'll probably just go straight into Azonius at that point.
Alright. And it looks like as far as ward coverage go, once again, DudeBroMan's ward coverage is kind of lacking really around the map. Finalys Funkel is doing a real good job with her own ward coverage though. And even though Darius has been kind of at a disadvantage all game, he's been doing a really good job trying to not be over aggressive and trying not to do anything stupid to try to get kills. He's just been trying to take his farm, do a little bit of harassment, trying not to lose all the exchanges. However, Olaf's going for a kill, having to force the flash out of Darius.
Really, Darius is doing a good job of setting up for his team to come and be able to get successful ganks. I think with some changes though in his item build, he might have done it better against Olaf at this point. Because typically this is the point where Darius should be scaling to the point where he can actually fight Olaf pretty well. You know, poke back and forth and actually, you know, start trading with him. And we're not seeing that happen quite yet. And really, it's not because Olaf's that far ahead, because Olaf's not that far ahead of him.
All right, and Olaf and Darius are just duking out. Oh, both are getting very low, but Olaf backing off, worried about that dunk from Darius.
I think if Darius had dunked there, he might have gotten really close to taking him down, if not taking him down. He probably had about 4 bleed stacks on him at that point.
And Akali once again just keeping complete control of her lane, be able to have all that spell vamp to just constantly stay in lane. It's not even a question in this matchup. Poppy almost walking into the wrong bush. Poppy might be able to jump out of there, take huge amounts of damage from Akali, and actually ulting the wrong person. I felt like she should have ulted Nocturne in that scenario, considering that Akali was the one on her face destroying her.
Yeah, but if she had dropped that ult on Nocturne, she would have got out of there just fine. That was a slight misstep by Poppy there.
Darius once again really low. She's just not being afraid of Olaf, knowing that Olaf's out of mana and won't be able to do a whole lot of aggression. Nunu jumping in and initiating this fight. Look, however, Corki is just going to stay in, and both members go down. Corki just kind of stands there and took it. I'm actually wondering if he might have disconnected right there for a moment.
It looks like that's the case. It looks like his client crashed at that point. That's too bad.
So a couple free kills for Finalys Funkel. They're in a really good position now, having 7 kills ahead, about 4k gold ahead. That's really strong position. And it looks like you're going for another gank onto Olaf, but he will know they're there and will just back off. I would like to see a dragon attempt here shortly from either team. I mean, really, DBM needs to go for a dragon just to try to catch up in the disadvantage they got now. But where Finalys Funkel does have such a huge advantage, they should be able to do this. However, Akali does flash right over the wall, trying to pick up Morgana. Morgana taking huge amounts of hits. Akali just needs a couple more. Nocturne ults in and picks up the KS, but ensuring the kill. It's definitely worth it, though. Just shutting down all the members of DBM. Poppy's not going to be able to make anything happen to Akali's just got too much damage, too much sustain, and Poppy's just going to have to flash out of there. She shouldn't have even tried initiating that. Have to burn her flash for no reason.
Really, I think the last hope for Team DBM right now is probably Olaf. He's the only one that's doing somewhat well right now. And he still has the potential to kill his lane. So if they ignore top for a little bit, Olaf possibly have a chance to kill Darius a time or two. He might be able to come down and be able to deal with Akali. And
it looks like Finale Funkels is going to go for the dragon. And it looks like it will be uncontested, really quickly going down. Having that Nunu and Smite.
Of Nunu and Draven combined, the amount of damage that they can put out is just ridiculous.
Draven might be able to pick up the kill on Soraka. Soraka taking huge hits, and one more attack will take her down. And Corki does manage to finally reconnect in the game. Really, that really does suck. Just to have your players disconnect, it's just something you really can't foresee. And it puts you at a real bad disadvantage a lot of times. All you can do is grit your teeth and just keep playing.
Yep, keep playing and hope for the best. That was awful timing for that disconnect, but things happen.
Right, and it looks like bot tower is going to go down. That Draven just does so much damage with that Nunu buff. That's so crazy. And it looks like we're going to have a gank on Darius here soon. Poppy and Morgana in great positions. If we can see a good snare. Oh, the creep barely getting in the way, blocking the snare. However, the ult will go off on her. Seeing that Poppy did pop Darius right back into Morgana. And the kill will go down to Olaf. Good gank there. Great positioning. I guess that one was just due to lack of ward coverage as far as top lane goes. Kali looks like she wants to make something happen. However, she is getting pinned down by all three members and will go down quite quickly, actually. Bot lane being pushed down once again. Soraka taking huge hits and will be picked off by Draven. Draven's becoming a huge monster really quickly.
Just as Finalys Funkel makes a couple of missteps top lane, Draven just gets even more fed bot lane. He's going to be a nightmare to deal with, even with if Olaf manages to keep getting fed. A Draven that does that much damage is going to be so hard to tank.
Oh, alright. And I really feel like what DBM needs to do is, once again, just take it slow, farm their lanes, and try to not get overextended. They really need to shut down this Draven, though. This Draven's got to be their highest priority, I feel. Where he's been so overextended a few times and no one's really keen to gank him. I feel like that's something they could probably exploit from him. Once again, cutting right through their own jungle and going straight for that Corki. And popping his flash already, so he won't be able to get away if a counter gank happens. Poppy trying to slow down the Nunu, however Nunu's way too tanky. As well, will actually push away the Poppy by himself.
They really do need to turtle this, though. DBM does have an exceptional late game. I mean, you look at Olaf scaling, Corki scaling, Poppy is arguably one of the best late game champs in the entire game. Morgana's team fighting is incredible. And
Morgana checks the wrong bush and instantly gets dropped down. And it looks like Corki might get taken out by Akali as well, and Draven picks up the kill on Poppy. All the members of DBM going down to Finalys Funkel. Draven picking up 3 of those kills. Definitely the guy you don't want to have those kills on.
Not at all. Once again, like last game, DBM needs to rush an Aegis as soon as possible. If they have any hope of surviving this massive amount of damage that's coming out, they need that aura. It just makes a huge difference in these small skirmishes and team fights.
Alright, and it looks like Olaf's still holding his lane really well against Darius. Darius not able to make anything happen and actually getting quite low. And middle turret will go down.
I'm surprised Olaf didn't try to dive that top. He could have easily taken him down, but it looks like he is going to probably have to transition down and help the team. Looks like Finalys Funkel is trying to pressure this, or they might back on.
Draven just pushing down that bot tower by himself like a boss, and we'll just back out of there. There's no consequences whatsoever. Akali coming around for a Poppy kill. Poppy getting really low and instantly gets nuked down. I think once again she popped that ult on Akali. Nocturne coming down for the dive on Corki. Corki's going to get taken out. And Soraka soon after.
Yeah, this match starting to be very one-sided.
DBM just can't do anything. Even underneath their own turrets, they've been having huge problems. Olaf trying to go for that kill, but Darius will just flash out of there. However, Olaf passively farms his lane for the next little bit. Darius will lose out on that farm, or possibly poke out for attempt kill on Olaf.
Regularly, I would say that Olaf really needs to come down and help his team, but at this point, with his fed as Akali and Draven and Nocturne are, he would probably just come down and die because he cannot compensate for the goal that they're missing. So yeah. It's just a chasm right now.
He just needs to play it safe, take his farm, and just try to make something happen later on. However, Draven is so far ahead in farm, in kills, and everything. He's really a monster right now. And Akali is almost the same way.
What do you think about Nunu going triple GP10? He's obviously very confident in this game.
Triple GP10 Nunu, really not a bad idea considering that his ult still does a huge amount of damage, and that AP is really not going to waste for him. Yeah, I mean, really doesn't help as far as him on a support benefit. However, it's damage. They have a huge damage advantage. I figured, why not just go for more damage, right?
Definitely. It's probably what I would do, but I'm definitely not the best support around.
Akali getting caught by that Morgana snare. However, just no real damage. Akali just sitting in the puddle, not even caring, hoping someone came around the corner for an attempt on that kill. Man, oh, we should see a Dragon and possibly a Baron attempt here shortly, where DBM doesn't have any control of anything right now.
Yeah, once again, they just need to get safe wards out and try to slowly take back what little bit of map control they can and just turtle this up.
That was a fast Dragon. Alright, so looks like both top lanes are starting to run around the map. Going to try to make something happen. They both decide, hey, our teams are dying. We need to help out. It looks like Poppy almost gets taken out. Akali does manage to pick up that kill, and all the members of DBM are getting taken out one after another. However, we might have done a little bit over tower diving, seeing that Finalys Funkel is getting taken out as well, but it actually didn't turn out as bad as I thought it was going to.
Yep, they have the choice now. They can just push down towers, or they could go get a Baron for free. With Draven and Nunu still being up, a Baron would be really fast. Darius could take it no problem. It actually looks like they might just go back and buy. Not quite the choice I was expecting.
Not really forcing the issue right now, which I really feel like they should. I mean, yeah, Poppy and Soraka back up, but they can't really do anything about it. And I would also expect them to push here shortly, considering they want to beat that 30-minute mark, just so they can get those extra points for the season.
Right, just by what's happening to Poppy, you can tell that Finalys Funkel is so ahead. Poppy's passive innately makes it so that if she takes more than 20% of her max health as damage, it's reduced by 50%, and she is just getting obliterated in these fights.
Alright, we have another team fight. However, there's no turret. Will they be able to actually engage this back? They are just going to try to disengage. Yeah, they're losing one member. Nocturne does go down to Poppy. That Draven is still so disgusting right now. But with 12-0 and 2, and definitely way more farm than anyone else in the game right now, he's definitely the target. Poppy is going to have to dive him like a madman.
So far, it doesn't even look like he's going for a GA or any kind of defensive item. He's probably just going to go for a Bloodthirster next. So if they can catch him, they do have the potential to be able to shut him down, get a lot of gold, and possibly win a team fight when they're losing that much damage, and all they have to back it is the damage of a Akali and a Darius that isn't doing very well.
So, I still haven't seen a Baron attempt here shortly, although the warding position for Finalys Funkel is in a good position to go for it here shortly. I mean, I feel like they can just force it. They could just force the Baron. There's nothing that DBM can do about it. They can try to defend for it, but really just don't have the damage to do anything.
Really, and then if Poppy comes in and tries to smite still, they can kill her so fast at this point. It's not even worth thinking about. Plus, the speed that they could take Baron at with that new Draven combo is just ridiculous.
Alright, and it looks like they are just going to go for it. Maybe just bait it out once again, because if any of them walk into the wrong bush, Akali will instantly jump on that. Oh, and it looks like Soraka go down once again. Morgana being picked up soon after by the Nocturne ult. Corki trying to dash out of there, so close to going down. And Nunu pops the flash. Akali just jumps over though. And it looks like they might just go for the end here shortly. They got 4 more minutes to take this down before, so they can still get the extra point for the season.
And that is a perfect example of why good ward coverage around Baron at this point in the game is so important.
I'm just walking into the wrong bush, just face checking. It's definitely not something you want to do. I feel like they should have put someone else in front, like Olaf or someone that's a little more tankier, or even like Morgana, where she wants to be close up to initiate a fight anyways. Grant, she doesn't have a Zonias yet, so she probably would have just been bursting down early. And it looks like the Chariots are just going to go down to the Nexus soon after. We got one last team fight happening here. And it looks like it's definitely going into Finalys Funkel's advantage. The Seongs just doesn't have the damage to make anything happen. Nunu is the only one getting anywhere low. And it will just end. Draven's just going to focus down the Nexus. And the game does go to Finalys Funkel.
I'm definitely kind of sad that game. I was hoping to see that Poppy go godlike. Fortunately, that didn't happen, and I do feel for the Olaf. Olaf being one of my favorite champions in the game, I do know how it goes to win your lane, and still feel like there's nothing you can do. But well played by both teams.
All right. So, where do you feel like the biggest turning point was for Finalys Funkel into snowballing out of control in that game?
I think it was just the pickup spot lane. The Draven kept picking up so many kills bot lane, and then also the DC didn't help, but at that point they were already winning the lane, so I can't say that specifically turned the game one way or the other.
Alright, so that game was DudeBroMan versus Finalys Funkel in Season 3 of Utah League of Legends Battles, and I'm MrTree with my co-caster.
I'm Osh.
Alright, and we'll be heading off to the next game here in a moment. Catch you guys later.